The writing's on the wall, folks. And it's been on the wall, and I've been saying it for quite some time. Microsoft has been losing money with the Xbox brand for many, many years. And because of that, they are transitioning to their core business. They are moving the Xbox brand to a software support brand, just like their core business with Windows and everything else, right? Because they provide software to anybody and everybody that wants to utilize it. That's the way they make money. That's the way they grew to power. And why would they do anything differently with their hardware division, the entertainment division? So the writing's been on the wall for quite some time. Outside of their exclusives going over to Windows, or PC in general, they are also buying up developers or companies, if you will, that offer third-party support, such as Havok, Minecraft from a gaming standpoint. Now they have the Azure cloud, which they are, utilizing in some of their up-and-coming games, most notably Crackdown 3. Just to touch on that a little bit, I think Crackdown 3 is a tech demo, and what I mean by that is that's going to be their game to show off to Sony, Nintendo, EA, Ubisoft, whoever, to say, look, this is what you can do, this is what you can achieve using our cloud services, right? This is how amazing our tech demo is, or this is how amazing the game is utilizing cloud and the Havok engine. This is what you can create. So for a fee, you can utilize these same services to create your game. That's why they've openly talked about how Havok and the cloud, the Azure cloud, can be utilized by anybody. The writing's on the wall, folks. Microsoft is converting Xbox into a support service brand. I've been saying it since the beginning of this new generation of consoles. That's where they will be by the end of this generation. Mark my words. Let me guys know. That is not right. Let me know what you think in the comment section. If you think I'm a crazy buffoon, or if you think I'm onto something. I'll also be touching on this in our, the upcoming Clash of Fans podcast. And I also wanted to put out there that I've always supported, normal console exclusive games going over to PC. I know Dave's had enough, was talking about how Sony guys would hang themselves if Uncharted was on PC. If that was the case, don't you think we've already seen that with, what is that game called? Street Fighter 5. There's Deep Down. We have a ton of exclusives that are going over to PC. No Man's Sky. To me, that's only better for the developer, because it'll allow them to put their games in more people's hands, and it's more revenue. More revenue means they can hire more people. The more people they have, the more talent they can bring into creating better games, and the more people and the more money, the more games they can put out. So it's better for everybody, right? So then you go even one step further and say, well, why not just go multi-plat altogether? Well, because, and I'm not totally against that. However, there is a thing called optimization. And so if you can become a multi-plat game while fully utilizing and optimizing per hardware that you're on or per platform, I'm okay with that, right? Because what I like about exclusives is they fully utilize the hardware that they're on. And on top of that, they can take more risk and chances with storytelling. They could go a little bit outside the lines, right, of your normal Hollywood, Call of Duty type year after year releases. They can take more risk and be a little bit more edgy with their stories and the way they tell stories and that sort of thing by being on one platform. So I in my opinion, that's why I've always been a Sony guy, because Sony, it would appear that they allow their developers to kind of take their ideas and run with it, and they don't throw a lot of restrictions on them. If you go back in history and look at Heavy Rain and go see what hell that team went through trying to get that game published before they got with Sony, and Sony took a look at it and was like, yo, we're good, go. we support you. Even after the game didn't do very well at launch, for, you know, maybe it wasn't necessarily the game's fault, it was a lot to do with Sony's pricing and that whole thing, but Sony still stuck by their side because they truly believed in the vision of that game. And then over time, that game really picked up, and through word of mouth and whatnot, and it had a pretty big cult following after the first 2 years of it being launched. So again, Sony just, they treat the developers properly, in my opinion, and they allow them to do what they want to do. So again, if Sony feels like, you know, Naughty Dog needs to let Uncharted 4 get in more people's hands by putting it on PC, hey, I'm cool, because PC's got a bigger, they got a better hardware. They can do more things, so it's not going to restrict the console game at all, right, where I play. So as long as the game that I play on the platform that I play it on is not restricted due to another weaker performing platform, I don't mind it at all. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you watching. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and I look forward to hearing from you.